What's going on, guys? Norm here. We're in the lab, so what we're going to do today, we're going to watch some hockey tonight with some of the boys, so we're going to make a Donair dip to take over with us. So this particular recipe is about a double batch because I'm going to leave one home for the missus and maybe some for me when I get home. So I'll break it down and tell you exactly what you need for this. If you're having a party, this will do perfect. If it's just for you and a few people, maybe about half of this, and then we can go from there. So the first thing that I have is I have a Donair spice that I use. This one I buy online. I like it. I don't find the need to make my own when these cost about $5 a package and I can make about 20 pounds of Donair meat. I'll take that. So this is what I use for the Donair spice. You order it online. Just Google East Coast spice. This is I really enjoy this one. I find I've made my own that I didn't like so much. There's some you can get in the grocery store. You can see that there's, you know, pretty simple ingredients in it if you do want to make it. I don't know how I feel about the MSG, but really this tastes pretty good. So yeah, this is what I use, but you can make your own or you can buy your own Donair meat. It's entirely up to you. You need about 1 brick of cream cheese. You need 3 cans of sweetened condensed milk. It's important to make sure that you get the sweetened condensed. Some garlic powder, vinegar, and I have about 5 pounds of ground beef. You're going to need whatever you actually want to make or what you want to eat it with. So some type of scoops. You can cut up pita breads and toast them, Tostitos, whatever. Pretty much anything that you like that'll go with it, that'll withstand a dip because it's going to be kind of heavy, we can use that. Whatever kind of tray you want to use to serve it in is up to you. I like these disposable foil trays from Costco. They are recyclable and you can just get rid of them when you're done. There's no mess, there's none of that caked on crap on the sides that you don't want to deal with. So what I'm going to do first now is I'm going to get my pan and dump in one of the packs of ground beef. So the reason I do this in the pan is that it saves me from dirtying anything. I just rip the ground beef open and then mix in the Donair spice. So each one of these packages that I have is about 2.5 pounds. So what they recommend is 2 tablespoons per pound. So I don't want it to be too crazy hot. So for this, I'm going to put in about 4 tablespoons for my first half. I'm going to cook that. Then I'm going to do my other half with about 4 tablespoons as well. So I'm going to get this mixed in and then get it on the stove and start frying, and then I'm going to come right back and we're going to get on to the next step. All right, guys, so I got the Donair meat going. The reason that we're doing this, and it's not going to be like thin strip, we're doing this like ground beef, is because it's easier to scoop and stuff. Like you can go buy your Donair meat at whatever place you get your Donair from. I like it like this because it's into little crumbles and it makes it easier to scoop up. The thing that I forgot to mention is that we have to buy cheese, usually grated mozzarella. I ended up with an Italian mix. It's going to be very similar because what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit in the dip, then we're going to cover the top of the dip with the rest of it. If you like onions and tomatoes, you can use those as well. The one that I'm bringing, I'm not. If you are going to put tomatoes in it, de-seed the tomatoes, so basically cut the ends off, scrape the seeds and the gooey stuff out, then chop it up so that it doesn't get liquidy. So now that we got the meat going, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put together our sauce. So basically this is just Donair sauce with added cream cheese into it because almost all dips have cream cheese, and so this one has cream cheese. Science. So what you're going to do is we're going to take 1 brick of this. If we're doing a smaller batch, you might only want a half, depending on how rich you want it. That brick of cream cheese. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add about 1 cup and 1/4 of vinegar. So most Donair sauces are really just sweetened condensed milk, vinegar, and garlic. So that's really all that we need to put in. So I'm adding 1.25 cups vinegar, and then I'm going to get in these 3 cans of sweetened condensed milk. This is super thick boy. So it's going to take me a couple seconds to get these all out, and as you can see how that's coming out from this can, I could hold that there without scraping it out. That's going to take like 5 minutes to get out. So let me get to scraping these out, and I'll pop back in a few, and then we'll get this pulsed up. So this is just going into a food processor. You can probably do it in a blender. I'm not going to because I have the food processor and a fairly big one. So just get this all out, get it in. Once the 3 are in, we're going to start pulsing that up with, 2 tablespoons of granulated garlic for this size batch. Then we're on to the next step. Alright guys, so we got the meats just finishing up here now. We'll get that into our big mixing bowl. That's the rest of it. So I had to do 2 batches because it was quite a bit. And then while we were gone, let's get that out of the way for a second. She's steamy, boys. All right. So while that was cooking, what I did is I did all of that Donair sauce in the food processor. So now we just start getting that into our mixing bowl as well. And I'll give that a second because we're probably going to have to scrape that clean. Now we'll start mixing that up. And once that gets all together, just one second here, I'll show you what the consistency is going to look like. Only takes a minute. Like so far I've probably been into this for 20 minutes and we're almost done. So that's what that looks like now. We got the oven preheating to about 400 degrees. So once we got that all mixed up, throw in probably about 2 or 3 cups of cheese, because you want cheese in it so it's nice and gooey. Mix that in. So what I'm going to do is get that all mixed up. Come back in about 2 seconds because I got to scrape this clean, which I know is not something you want to watch. Me sitting here scraping the sides of a bowl into a dish because it's not entertaining. I don't know, it might be for some if you want to watch me suffer. Trying to hold that with my gimped up elbow and, you know, get it in the bowl at the same time. Probably going to make a mess anyways. So I'm going to finish that up and then I'm going to get this into a dish and I'll be back. Alright guys, we're back. I got everything scraped out of the food processor, got this all mixed up, got the cheese into it and everything. So the last thing we're doing, we're just scraping that into the dish we're going to use. Like I said, you don't have to do the disposable. If you have like a nice casserole dish or whatever, use that. So get all that in, smooth that out. And now I know that we got the cheese in it, but we got to get the cheese on it. I mean, if you don't melt cheese over the top, it's just not as good. That's science. This is a lab. This is what we do. Anyways, so get your grated cheese. Get that over the top here. Now, I like a good layer so that you get that nice brown, kind of bubbly cheese on the top when it gets almost like a top of a pizza. So a nice thick layer. We're looking something like that consistency there. Then what we're going to do, we're going to fire that in the oven at 400 for about 30 minutes. That's going to cook. If you notice that the top is not melted and starting to get that brown color, if you have convection, turn it on. If you don't, maybe leave it in for like an extra 5 minutes or so until the cheese is melted on top. That's all we care about. Once that cheese is melted on top, everything inside is already cooked. We're just heating up, bringing it to temperature. Now, important key. When this comes out, let it sit. You're going to want to eat it. Don't. It's sugary sauce. You will burn your face. You look like Skeletor when you're done. You don't want that. You walking around trying to fight He-Man and shit. No. Let it sit 5-10 minutes before you get into it. I don't want this coming back on me. Be safe. Alright, so that's going to go into the oven. Like I said, about 30 minutes or so. We're going to let it out after, let it sit. Then we're eating. So, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, we're out now, so you'll notice that this is an extension of the lab. We're at Baldwin's place, so we're going to get this dip out. She's been in the oven for about 25 minutes, but she looks like she's browning up. So that's what we're dealing with here now. So she's browned up on the top. She's a little bit bubbly. That's hot. Now remember what I said. Let that cool down. You'll melt your face. Probably die. I don't want that. It's not going to be on me. I don't want your gravestone to read, "Here lies Buddy. He died eating dip. Norm sucks." Not happening. So let it cool, then we're going to eat it.
Wednesdays at 8 on MTV. This program involves.
All right, boys. This is it. Got some chips. Got some hockey going on. Getting after it. Remember, let that sit. You don't want to burn your face off. See you next time.